Let's be honest. Nobody expected Jerome Lester Horwitz, born in 1903 in the rough neighborhoods of Brooklyn, to become anything close to a star. He wasn't the loud one. He wasn't the smart one. He wasn't even the funny one, at least not in his own family. He was the youngest of five in a strict Jewish household, constantly overshadowed by his older brothers, especially Mo and Shemp, who were already carving out their own careers in showbiz. Curly? He was the quiet one, the awkward one, the one who didn't even finish high school. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The world's loudest, most chaotic comedian was painfully shy and insecure. He wasn't supposed to make people laugh. He wasn't even supposed to be seen. And yet, something inside him, something raw, untamed, and explosive, was just waiting to break out. It started with small theater gigs and odd jobs. But when his brother Shemp left the Three Stooges, Mo made a shocking decision. He brought in Curly, reluctantly, and that changed everything. But there was one catch. Curly still had a head full of thick, wavy auburn hair and a mustache. He didn't look like a stooge. So Mo and the group's manager gave him an ultimatum. Shave it all off, or forget the part. Most people would have walked. Curly didn't. He went straight to the bathroom, came out bald, and just like that, Curly Howard was born. And within minutes, he owned the stage. What happened next was not normal. The moment the camera rolled, something came over him, like a bolt of lightning through his veins. The shy, soft-spoken Jerome was gone, and in his place was a human cartoon, a whirlwind of chaos, a comic volcano about to erupt. He didn't just act funny, he became funny. Every movement was exaggerated, every word twisted into absurd brilliance. He invented sounds. He turned gibberish into catchphrases. Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. Woo, woo, woo. Certainly. Words that meant nothing, yet made millions laugh. And here's the real kicker. None of it was rehearsed. Curly had no acting coach, no formal training, no plan. He didn't even memorize scripts half the time. He just showed up, turned it on, and destroyed the room. Directors couldn't explain it. Co-stars couldn't match it. His timing? Impeccable. His improvisation? Genius. He turned falling down the stairs into art. He could take a pie to the face and somehow make it elegant. He was a walking, talking tornado of laughter, and fans couldn't get enough. Between 1934 and 1946, during the golden age of the Three Stooges at Columbia Pictures, Curly starred in almost 100 short films. Many are now comedy gold. Punch Drunks, Disorder in the Court, A Plumbing We Will Go, all classics. But here's the truth they didn't tell you. While the world was laughing, Curly was drowning. The fame was overwhelming, the pressure relentless. Behind that manic energy was a man cracking at the seams. A man hiding serious. If Curly's career was a rocket ship, his personal life was a car crash you couldn't look away from. He wasn't just unlucky in love, he was a magnet for disaster. His first marriage, it lasted just 5 months. 5. That's not a relationship. That's a long weekend. And it only got messier from there. He kept chasing affection like it was oxygen, falling for women fast, too fast, and getting burned every single time. One woman, he married her after just 2 weeks. And guess what? That lasted 9 months. Of arguments, mistrust, and public meltdowns. The press ate it up. Headlines branded him a clown off-screen too, painting him as emotionally unstable and erratic. And maybe they weren't wrong. But here's the part they didn't print. Curly wasn't reckless, he was lonely. Crushingly, desperately lonely. He was a man who gave the world laughter but couldn't find anyone to sit with him in silence. Worse, every heartbreak chipped away at him until it started showing on his body. His health took a nosedive, his weight ballooned, his energy dropped, his soul just looked tired. On camera, Curly was untouchable, a fireball, but off camera, he was collapsing. As the 1940s rolled in, his health hit a wall. He suffered from chronic fatigue, terrifying mood swings, and severe high blood pressure. His body was screaming for rest, but rest wasn't an option, not in showbiz, not at Columbia Pictures. During World War II, production would pause for a few months each year, but instead of recovering, the Stooges were sent on military morale tours, non-stop performances, brutal travel, sleepless nights. For Curly, these weren't gigs, they were slow-motion suicide. He bore the brunt of the physical comedy, the falls, the slaps, the spins, the crashes, and every one of them tore his body apart. And still, he kept going. Why? Because Mo, his older brother and unofficial boss, had one rule: no drinking on the job. Curly obeyed, but the moment the lights went out, he drank like a man trying to disappear. Clubs, bars, women, bottles, every night, over and over. It wasn't partying, it was coping, and it only made things worse. But there's one more secret most fans never knew. Curly was making big money, but had no idea how to keep it. He spent like tomorrow didn't exist. Fancy dinners, booze, jewelry, real estate he didn't even visit. Within months of huge paychecks, he'd be broke again. He was spiraling financially, emotionally, and physically. And behind the scenes, Mo was doing damage control, acting not just like a brother, but a babysitter. What was coming next would break the man and nearly break the group. The audience didn't know it yet, but Curly's body was already giving out. He was slowing down on set, forgetting lines, missing cues. He disappeared between scenes, struggling to catch his breath and his thoughts. Then came 1946. They were filming a short called Half-Wit's Holiday. Classic Stooges slapstick, nothing out of the ordinary. But halfway through the shoot, Curly collapsed. Not in character, not for laughs. It was a stroke, a massive one. At just 42 years old, Curly Howard, the man who could once spin, scream, and fall with inhuman energy, was broken. It wasn't just the end of a film shoot, it was the end of his career. The laugh machine was officially silent. And yet, the studio didn't slow down. Columbia Pictures didn't issue a statement. No tribute, no time off. They quietly replaced him and kept moving. That stroke didn't come out of nowhere either. It was the climax of years of ignored warnings, doctor's advice dismissed, symptoms misread, and a man screaming for help behind a wall of jokes. And what makes it worse? It was preventable. Recently uncovered memos from Columbia Pictures paint a chilling picture. Executives were fully aware that Curly was declining, not just physically, but mentally. They saw the tremors, the weight gain, the blank stares on set. Their response: get one more short out of him. Prop him up if we have to. Don't let the public see him like this. They knew, and they didn't care. Behind every laugh, there was a man dying inside. But as long as the trio kept printing money, the machine kept turning. Curly wasn't treated like a person. He was a product. Mo, loyal to the end, begged for better treatment. He pleaded with the studio to let Curly rest, to give him time to recover. But even Mo, the face of the group, didn't have enough power to stop the grind. And as Curly faded from the spotlight, he was quietly erased from the Stooges' public image. No farewell tour, no goodbye, no closure, just gone. But what happened after the stroke? That part of the story gets even darker. After the stroke, Curly disappeared from the screen, but he didn't disappear from life. Not yet. He tried to fight. He made a brief cameo in Hold That Line in 1947, the only time all three Howard brothers, Mo, Shemp, and Curly, shared a scene. Fans were thrilled, but behind the scenes, it was heartbreaking. Curly could barely stand. His voice was slow, his face slack. The fire was gone. That spark, the one that made him magic, had been extinguished. And still, Curly wanted to be okay. He wanted normalcy, stability, maybe even real love. And in a rare stroke of grace, he found it. In 1947, he married Valerie Newman. She wasn't like the others. She didn't chase fame, didn't feed off his name. She stayed through the worst of it, through hospital beds, nursing homes, and late-night panic attacks. In 1948, they had a daughter, Janie. For a brief moment, Curly had something he'd never truly had, a family that didn't want anything but him. But by then his body had given up. The strokes kept coming, his mind began to slip. By the time he turned 48, he wasn't Curly anymore, just Jerome, a frail man in a wheelchair tucked away in a care facility while the world moved on without him. Curly Howard died on January 18, 1952. No fanfare, no public tribute, just a small obituary in the paper and silence from the industry he once carried on his back. But now, decades later, we know the truth. He wasn't just the funny one. He wasn't just the slapstick clown. He was a man at war with himself, a man crushed by fame, failed by medicine, and forgotten by the machine he helped build. Recently uncovered family letters and medical reports reveal what the world missed. Curly wasn't just sick. He may have suffered from undiagnosed bipolar disorder or another neuropsychiatric condition, masked by alcohol and misunderstood in a time when mental health didn't even have a name. He gave everything he had to make the world laugh, and it cost him everything.